I got to talk Canes football more than 1 or 2 days a week. So let's dive into it a little bit. We've got a lot of things to talk about tonight. You've already seen the title for the stream. Are Canes fans expecting too much out of this season? Is it actually going to be a rebuilding year as opposed to just coming out and winning football games? Now, I haven't made my opinion known on this yet. A lot of people showed up on my community tab post and they were like, Coop, what are you saying? We're still going to be good. It's been one game. I haven't made my opinion known yet. I'm asking you the question. I'm saying we know a little bit more about what this team looks like. We saw them go up against the Gators. We're 0-1. You know what we look like. Look at the rest of our schedule. Do you think that we'll have a mediocre season? Do you think that it truly is a rebuilding year? Do you think it's too early to say? What's Anthony Riley joining the Canes fam? Appreciate that, man. Try out those emotes. You've got a U by your name now. Check it out, man. I did want to show you guys, I got a little surprise in the mail before I went live today. This is not football related in any way, but let me show you real quick. Some of you know what this is. But for real, thank you, Anthony. And when you type in the chat, refresh, you'll have a U by your name, bro. Appreciate that.
This is what it takes
I got something in the mail.
to wear the U on the side of your helmet.
Coop.
Eric Birch dropping some U's in the tip jar. Thank you for that, man. Thank you for the $2. I'll get you up as the top donator this stream, Eric. Thank you, man. Yep. Your boy Coop got hit with a jury summons right before I went live today. What do I do? What do I do with this thing? I know that ain't football related. I know. But listen, it says I need to report in October 7th. No. It ain't. Okay. I'm just wanted to share with my Canes fam. Crip says throw it in the trash. What's going on, O'Bruin? Anthony, man, now your name is green. It's got a U beside it. I love it, man. Let me drop Eric Birch up on the top up here. And then we're going to get this thing kicked off. Now, I want to talk about a couple of things real quick, though. I know you're thinking, Coop, that's what you just did. You talked about jury duty and you talked about a couple other things. What do you mean you want to talk about more things? I want to talk about something that I'm seeing a few people touch on, but I feel like we need to look at it. Just come with me. Come with me. Hurricane Dorian. All right. Let me blow this up a little bit. We're just touching on everything tonight. The reason why I wanted to touch on this is because we're not talking about the North Carolina game, but that is going to be, this Saturday. I think we're in the clear because if you take a look at North Carolina here, by then it's really probably just going to be rain. A bunch of rain is all it's going to be. And I wanted to show you Kenan Memorial Stadium. If you take a look at this picture, this is straight from the National Hurricane Center. If you take a look at this picture, where's Kenan Memorial Stadium in this? Right here. I'll zoom it in a little bit more. Right here. So we're talking right outside of Raleigh. So right up in here. That's probably in the yellow, so 4 to 6 inches of rain. But I'll show you something else. It'll be hitting sometime around Friday, the day before the game. So worst case scenario, it's a slip and slide on Saturday, but probably won't be raining on Saturday. I don't know. We'll see. We'll find out. But I just wanted to show you guys that real quick. I don't think it's anything that's going to be that big of a deal to worry about. I really don't. Jay Sondy says, you coming to North Carolina for the game? I am not, Jay Sondy. I'm probably going to go to the Georgia Tech game. And maybe the Duke game. Georgia Tech or Duke. One of the two. That's kind of what I'm thinking. So we can talk about this season a little bit. I wanted to actually... How many of you heard Manny Diaz on the radio this morning? Can you guys let me know if you did or did not? Hey, Ghost. I hope you're doing well, man. Appreciate that. I'm doing awesome. I'm doing really good, man. Really good. Because there are some Canes fans that are upset about some of the comments that he made. And don't worry, I see everybody saying this is going to be our record. 10-2 says Harry Baller, 11-1 from the Norse. We'll dive deeper into it. Uncle Lou, just dropping by to let all my Canes fans know how good it feels to be 1-0. God bless all C and Uncle Lou. Man, I bet it does feel good to be 1-0. Who's Georgia got week 2? I appreciate you stopping in, Uncle Lou. All joking aside, man. Appreciate it. So a lot of people didn't. There you go, Anthony Riley. Spam those T&Ms, man. What I want to do is, this is from the Joe Rose show this morning. Manny Diaz was on the radio. Much too early for your boy Coop to be up to listen to it. I haven't listened to it yet, and I figured let's listen to it together. So I don't own the audio in this. This goes to WQAM, the Joe Rose show. This is not my audio. I want to make that clear. But I want to listen to it together and just see what you guys think, and you can comment on it as we listen to it. That sound good? What's going on, Shane? Because they're going to ask him some questions about the UNC game. I should have probably saved this for Friday, but it is what it is. And he made some comments apparently about Martell or something that Canes fans are all ruffled up and all angry about. So let's just listen to it.
We bring on Manny Diaz today. Manny, good morning. UNC week is here. Welcome to the show.
Good morning, guys. How are we doing?
Manny, we're doing great. Outside of what's going on a little bit with the Dolphins, who going a little different route this year.
Nobody cared about the
probably
NFL.
Seen here over the last few days.
Let's be real.
Let's talk about your team for just a second. I'm curious. You had all that extra time. What did you focus on the most after beating up the Gator game and moving on and getting set? What did you guys work on the most?
Well, you work on Miami, right? You know, you see the mistakes that we made that gave us that really gave us no chance to win that game. That we felt like were all correctable. So you go about looking at those things and trying to get those things fixed. And at the same time, we were also able to get a jump on North Carolina prep. So
This is
last
what
week
it takes
we were studying them, predicated
you
on
the side of your helmet.
Canes fans show my channel some love. #Go Canes.
T2Y exclusive. Thank you for the $2.99, man. I'll get you bumped up to top donator. Appreciate that, man. Appreciate that. Are you saying check out your channel? Check out your channel? Is that what you're saying? Let me know. And thank you, Aaron Wallace, for the $1.99. You guys working on that tip jar already. Appreciate it.
Than in the past and what we expected to see, and then we were able to watch them play South Carolina.
To where you,
and get some things
on the side of your
confirmed and then see some other things. And so now we, take advantage of having extra time to get ready for those guys and have a good plan to go get after them.
Manny, is it a copycat league pretty much? You expect North Carolina to show you a lot of the same looks defensively that you got from the Gators because of the success they had?
Well, in a 1 week time, everybody has to do what they do. It's hard to just, recreate it. And let's make no mistake in terms of looks, unless they, number 92 from Florida, no matter what look they were in, that guy was just a problem in any defense. So, the people have a lot to do with it as well. So, that being said, there are some similarities between the two defensive styles of play. North Carolina runs a very active defense. They do a lot of blitzing and a lot of movement up front.
This is what it takes.
So again, it'll be a challenge to make sure that we get on the right guy and get the plays a chance to get executed.
Coach, something you don't see every day, offensive coordinator kind of being publicly critical of the quarterback after the first game. Dan Enos was about Jarren after that Gator game. Just
what was the problem with that? Somebody please fill me in. Thank you, Charles, for the $1.99 as well, man. Thank you. What was the deal when people were saying that Enos? I know this is old news. I know this was like 2 weeks ago. What's the big deal with Enos saying Williams did not play well enough to win us the game? He is the offensive coordinator. He works with the quarterback. So why is it a problem for him to criticize the quarterback when that's the position that he's coaching and working with? What's the problem with that? He didn't play well enough to win the football game. People at other positions didn't either, but he's not the defensive coordinator, so he's probably not going to necessarily call out the defense. What's wrong, Speedy? What's wrong, Chris? Sub for no reason, you're a joke? People are just snowflakes. I don't see what the problem was with that, to be honest. A lot of people said, well, the coaches should have took the blame. It goes both ways. It does. It's the coach's fault and it's the player's fault. It's both. Period. I'm all about constructive criticism. Period. I do take phone calls, yes. It'll be just a little bit later in the stream and we'll get to the phone calls. People want things to be soft. See, I'm tired of being soft as far as a football program. I'm tired of being soft. I don't see the problem.
Putting out there just all the stuff he did wrong or he thought he did wrong in the game. After hearing those comments and after seeing all that, did you have a talk with Jarren after that also? Because you just don't see that a lot, but it was kind of refreshing to see the Dan Enos come out and do that.
Yeah, see, they agree.
We talked about all the things that Jarren did right. I mean, look, we said this from day one. We're going to hold these guys to a very high standard. It's funny how, after one game, then all of a sudden, there's a mentality like, well, should we not hold them to a high standard? And part of also was the understanding that, as we've mentioned before the game, and then we mentioned after the game, is that protecting the quarterback is an 11-man job. And one thing that Dan Enos has been on point about since we first, his very first practice in spring ball is, hey, quarterback, if you don't want to get sacked, that's going to be up to you. In terms of the way that you move the pocket, in terms of the way that you go through your reads, and in terms of the way that you get the ball out. So, I think that's, Dan understands the position. He's played the position. He gets the, sort of the praise and the criticism that comes with being that guy. But look, like the standard around here is not going to change, and we're going to hold our guys to that way. And
exactly, the standard's not going to change. We expect greatness. Nothing less, period. It doesn't matter the circumstances with the coaching staff or the players. Was it a quarterback in his first game? Redshirt freshman? Sure. Is it new coaching staff? Is it a new offense? Sure. We still expect greatness and we still expect to win, period. Doesn't matter. Exactly, Anthony. Wasn't just the O-line. The O-line played terrible. They did. But Jarren did hold on to the ball too long several times where he took sacks at critical moments where towards the end of the game there, I know I'm going back to Florida, I'm just saying, even getting rid of the ball would have been a better scenario except for that fourth down. Getting rid of the ball would have been a better scenario. It would have stopped the clock. It could have gave us another play in the same spot as opposed to losing some yards on it. I'm just saying.
And you know what? They like it because they like the consistency of it.
Coach, I know we talked a lot about Nelson and Campbell, redshirt freshman, true freshman at tackles, and Jarren Williams. They were kind of the hot topic the week before. But a lot of this just gets back. Doesn't a lot of it help if you can just run the football consistently? Won't that help everything a little bit?
So, right.
It would.
Let's look at the whole deal, right? A lot of it has to do with game strategy, too. So, and again, I mentioned this. The last 7 minutes of the game, we're in a drop-back throw mode. And that's going to be hard against any defense, okay, especially Florida's front. So let's flip the scenario. Let's take advantage of the opportunity that we have, and after the fake field goal, let's go up by 10 against Florida, and let's have Felipe Franks drop back and throw the football down by 10 against our front. Because let me tell you something, they couldn't put a hand on us up front. And now what happens? Now they're getting sacked. They punt the ball to us. What do we get to do? Now we get to run our 4-minute offense. Who ends the game with more sacks?
Because, again, this is the last time I'm going to focus on Florida. But I feel like we beat ourselves. There's still some Florida fans in this live stream right now. And I appreciate you guys being here. For real, I do. But we beat ourselves in that game. Let's assume that Bubba Baxa hits the field goal. Could have changed the game. Let's assume Jeff Thomas doesn't muff that punt. Could have changed the game. Couple of little simple things. Turnovers not turned into points. That could have changed the game. And I don't know. I didn't know what to expect from this, so I didn't even know they were going to be talking about the Florida game. I honestly didn't. I haven't heard this. I just know that Miami fans were on the Facebook groups crying and complaining about something Manny Diaz said in this interview. So I'm listening to it with you guys, and I'm looking for warning signs. I'm looking for you guys to go crazy and tell me what it is that he says that upsets everybody. So I'm waiting to see. And I see what you're saying now, Chris Speedy. You're talking about sub for no reason. I don't know what he's talking about, hoodlum and thugs and stuff. Man, that's the oldest trick in the book. That's what we hear. That's what everybody goes to when they talk about Miami. So you can keep trying with that, but
Miami does. What's the narrative on who's offensive line and whatever? It's in reverse. So part of it comes down to simple game strategy, which is, when all of a sudden you've got to come, and that's why we don't. It doesn't matter in terms of the numbers. It matters in terms of the performance. And we know what parts of our performance were not good enough. We know what parts of our performance are correctable, and that's all we're concerned about. And let's get better at that, and let's move forward.
Coach, I know right after the UF game you talked about tackling and the poor tackling that your team had. I'm assuming the last couple days of practice have been at nauseum your defensive players working on tackling, because I know you talked about that the second after the game. Is that what kind of defensive practice looked like?
Well, we just again we
did struggle with that.
We've been a very good tackling team over the last 3 years, and in fact, other than the one catastrophic play, our tackling actually, that play just stands out so badly because we just don't give up free touchdowns due to poor tackling based off the evidence of the last 3 years. But over the course of the rest of the game, it was actually much better. And we always make a point that the best tackling team wins. And the Florida game was actually an anomaly because we were definitely the better tackling team between the two teams, but that had to do more with their poor tackling than us being great tacklers. But that look, if you have a chance to sit back like we did and watch week 1 of college football, that's kind of how it works, man. You see some missed tackling in game 1. You see some special teams errors in game 1 because those are always going to be the hardest things to recreate in training camp. And
so we're halfway through this interview. Is there anything that really upsets you so far? We're halfway through. I've not heard any reason to be up in arms about something Manny Diaz said yet. Nothing. UNC's run defense is weak, and our running back should be. I hope so. 247 Canes. I hope so. And I will take a look, Anthony, at Dallas's Twitter header. I've got it pulled up. All right, let's keep going. We're halfway through.
And that's why you want to get right back into game mode. That's why I wish we played this past weekend, but we just got to get right back in there, and something that we expect to see improve as the year goes on.
Coach, one group we didn't talk about a lot outside of Thomas, a wide receiver. How did those guys play overall, your wide receivers? I know they didn't catch a lot of footballs, but how'd they play in grade out?
I thought they played well. Again, when you watch the film, you see the opportunities that were there. I think we had Jeff. I think in the first 12 plays of the game, I think Jeff was, open on with a chance to be explosive. That for one reason or other we couldn't get the ball to him, and that's just all part of offensive football. So they see it. Our guys see that they're the plays that are available, and once we get 11 guys kind of functioning together, that there's a lot of big plays to be made in this offense.
Real quickly, too, because we always talk, if you lose, we talk about all the negative stuff why you lost. But who graded out well in that first game? Give me a couple of guys that graded out well that we're not talking about.
Gosh, so long ago, we've almost,
I saw 3 or 4 people. Thank you, Steven, for that sub, man. Appreciate that. I saw a couple people asking me about Lingard. Lingard thinks he's 100% ready, but they're still saying not quite. I'm guessing they save him for almost midway through the season. That's my guess. Maybe a little bit earlier. So we might see Lingard like Virginia, maybe Virginia Tech. One of those slightly bigger ACC games. Something like that is what I'm thinking. That's my guess. He's ready. He says he wants to play, though.
But
I know you're past it, and I know you've moved on. I'm just curious, some guys playing well, getting off to a good start.
Well, certainly like a guy like defensive, certainly a guy like John Ford inside, did what we expected him to do. Ford, in essence, really almost conceded the inside run game, just for various reasons. But John, I thought, did a really nice job inside, which, backed up that we felt like he had a really good spring and a really good training camp. So he, he is certainly a guy that we felt like, got off to a good start. Jonathan Garvin was almost unblockable by their front, which what we would expect. But, those guys up front played very well for us defensively.
All right, a new guy to the wide receiver room, Tate Martell. We're going to see more of that.
I can already guarantee you this is it. What's going on, James West? This is it, isn't it? Whatever is about to be said, this is why everyone's up in arms. I can already guarantee it. Here we go.
A wide receiver in these upcoming weeks?
Yeah, Tate adds a lot of versatility to our offense. And, we had some things, that we could do with him. There were, some things that, we can continue to build on that package, some things that we didn't even get a chance to get to that night. So yeah, I think a guy like that, that has a unique skill set, let's just say, you can, it's a fun guy you can use in a lot of different creative ways.
All right, so I'm just curious, since you didn't have to play, did you watch a lot of college football Saturday?
That's it, isn't it? That's it. He said that Tate Martell is going to get some more snaps, and Canes fans are up in arms because let's just go ahead and talk about it. This kind of goes into what we are expecting out of this season. I'm seeing a lot of people upset because they're trying to wrap their head around why Tate Martell is getting some snaps while Pope and Wiggins sit on the bench. I'm asking for people to tell me why that upsets them. Who here is super upset because Tate Martell got some snaps in the Florida game? I'm exactly, Indo. I'm not a fanboy of any player on the team. I like all the players. I want all of them to be successful at Miami and get playtime if they're good enough to see the field. I'm not making it a stream about that, but I'm just asking. I'm putting it out there. I'm asking what the problem is. The coaches are seeing something. The coaches are seeing something from him in these packages that they're running that involve him in the slot or with him going in motion, whatever it is they're doing with Tate Martell, that they like. If they see that in practice and they like it, they're probably going to put it in their game plan. So I'm just asking you guys. I'm asking you guys if there's a problem. I don't really see a problem with it. Raji, you here, man? What's going on? Because a lot of people said Tate was being used as a decoy, but they don't think that Florida fell for it. Maybe that's what it was. We're almost done with this, guys. We're almost done with the interview.
Were you a junkie?
Absolutely. Of course. That's kind of what we're all about,
Started, I was going to say, it started right about 10 o'clock. Got to warm up with a couple of games. Just the pregame show was so good. Right. And then right into games all day. My God, it just spoils the hell out of you. So it was fun to watch. Talk about North Carolina, South Carolina. I was a little surprised. I thought North Carolina, that surprised you at all? Those guys able to come back and win that game?
I don't think so, because I think we probably felt that North Carolina and South Carolina were more similar than they were different. Just having watched South Carolina a year ago, certainly I think the way the game went, and the way that North Carolina was able to hang in there and win it in the fourth quarter, and have a freshman quarterback make some big throws there at the end.
That was it.
They'll take
that was the big deal.
That. But I think the one thing that stands out in college football is, it's funny, we put, we do these rankings and we have these polls and spreads or whatever, and I think it's fairly obvious that there's a couple of teams at the top that their talent level really sets them maybe right now in a class apart. There's a bunch of other teams that you can just throw in a hat and you pick one out, and there's just not a lot of difference, and I think the idea that there is sometimes a misnomer. Most teams are pretty similar, and you saw, I thought, North Carolina and South Carolina, two pretty similar teams on Saturday.
You know what else is amazing is I think you might have been the first one to say it. Now I've been using it a lot. College football doesn't have preseason football. We bitch about 4 games for the NFL and everything else, yeah. And then you see how sloppy different.
I think that's pretty much the whole thing. I wanted to listen to it. thank you everyone for sitting through that. Listen to our head coach. I always like to see kind of how he speaks about the team, how he's feeling about things. And what's going on, Jay? And I don't see any problem there. I had to look and see because Miami fans were just freaking out. People were DMing me saying, "Coop, did you hear what Manny Diaz said this morning on the Joe Rose show? I can't believe it." That was it. So that audio is from the Joe Rose show on WQAM. I have a link to their radio show down in the description, so you can go over there and check them out. All credit for that goes to them. That is not my show or anything like that. I don't claim that audio. So let's get into the actual discussion. How far are we in? 32 minutes in. Let's get into the actual discussion about what we see for this season. Are we expecting too much? Are you guys still thinking that 11-1 is a possibility now that you've seen Miami a little bit? Because now you have to keep in mind that the team's going to continue to develop throughout the year. Because it's literally game one. So we should look improved. We should look improved game after game after game. So we should only theoretically get better. But based on what you saw, you see a little bit about what this offense is about. You know that the defense is back. The defense is ready to rock and roll. Do you see us winning out the rest of the year? 11-1. If you remember, when I made my prediction, I said 12-0. If we don't go 12-0 and we lose to Florida, we'll go 10-2. I had us if we take an L to Florida, we would lose to one other team. So I'm actually saying 10-2 is what I'm saying. 11-1 major possibility. 11-1, but thinking 10-2. All right, Anthony, same thing. 10-2 or 11-1. I'm thinking 10-2. Who else we losing to? If we take a look at the schedule, let's go take a look. If we take a look at the schedule, I think we get the win. You guys have already seen my prediction for North Carolina. I think we get the win. Josh, you made it. George, thank you, man. Listen, that's a college football fan right there. You guys know that. George, I'm going to kind of miss you, man. What do you guys think? You guys are going to sit here and say, nah, I'm not going to miss George or Devin. Listen, this has been building up all offseason, George, for a year. The rivalry game, Miami versus Florida. I'm going to kind of miss the banter back and forth, if I'm being honest with you. So thank you for giving a like on the video, George. Appreciate that, man. North Carolina's a win. Now, we've done this before. We've done the season prediction video, but we know a little bit more about our team now. I know it's just the first game, but we know a little bit more. Bethune-Cookman's a win. Central Michigan's a win. Virginia Tech is at Miami. Should be fine. Virginia, we're breaking out the parlay. That's an 8 p.m. at Miami. Should be fine. Georgia Tech looks like garbage, but we've seen them play Clemson. Miami Gardens, that should be fine.